morning, and welcome to another episode of Edelweiss Money Konnect Podcast, your go-to place for collecting investment gems from books. All you need to collect these nuggets of wisdom is to tune into our Money Konnect podcast that shares with you the insights gathered from especially curated book summaries featured in our Edelweiss Insight book summary. You can read our book summaries and listen to our Money Konnect podcast on our Edelweiss Mutual Fund website.
In our first episode, we listened to the wise words of Benjamin Graham, who taught us how to become intelligent investors. In today's episode, we are going to go a step further and take a leaf out of the Millionaires playbook.
Wow! I think there must be hardly any person who is not interested in getting rich. We all want to know that one secret that all the rich seem to share. In The Millionaire Next Door, authors Thomas Stanley and William D. Danko examine the common characteristics of millionaires, debunk the myths associated with millionaires, and provide a detailed perspective of what a real millionaire looks like.
Let us start with the most basic question. What exactly makes a millionaire? Are these the people who have lots of material possessions? Do they dress differently, eat differently, or even look different?
The answer to the above question is none of the above. To be considered a millionaire, as per Stanley and Danko's definition, you must be worth $1 million or more. Also, the authors tell us that millionaires seldom make their wealth obvious. You may not be able to tell that they are wealthy by looking at the car that they drive, the clothes that they wear, or the watch they have on their wrist. They are basically people who get much more pleasure from owning substantial amounts of appreciable assets than from displaying a high consumption lifestyle.
That is indeed a revelation. I always thought that people who drove the flashiest cars are the richest.
This is a myth. Millionaires don't really spend money on consumption. Research done by the authors revealed some interesting facts about motor vehicle ownership among the wealthy. First, just over 1/4 of those surveyed had not purchased a car in over 4 years. Second, just under 1/4 actually owned brand new cars. Third, the remaining purchased second-hand or lease. This debunks the myth of wealthy only owning brand new, flashy, top-of-the-range cars. You can be wealthy and still choose to own a standard second-hand car.
I believe that frugality, simple living, and astute financial planning are some common traits of millionaires.
That is true. Millionaires, at least those who can be considered to be truly wealthy, always budget. The average lifestyle of the American millionaire is not what the public perceives it to be. The average millionaire is well into his 50s, has been married to the same woman, and lives in a middle-class neighborhood. He is more likely to buy a $40 pair of shoes than a $500 pair of shoes, although he has the money.
Another interesting aspect of the millionaires in America is their spouses. More often than not, the spouse of millionaires are more frugal than their counterparts. Most people will never become wealthy in one generation if they are married to people who are wasteful.
Let's not forget the role of budgeting efficiently and planning astutely in accumulating wealth. In order to become wealthy, people had to learn how to use their time, energy, and money in the most efficient manner. Without efficiency, it would be a lot harder to accumulate any wealth. People who understand how to plan their wealth have the ability to set aside money for investments, etc. A great goal to have is to have a minimum of 15% of your income available for investments. This is going to help set you up for more wealth.
Ask yourself how much your household spends in a year. Assess what portion of that spending comes out of different categories, such as groceries, petrols, bills, mortgage, etc. Unless you understand exactly how and where you are spending, it is almost impossible to truly control your money. If you can't control your money, it is not likely that you will ever accumulate a lot of wealth.
Another unique aspect about millionaires is their perception about family. Family forms an integral part of the millionaire's life. Unfortunately, children of the wealthy often become high-volume consumers but are seldom wealthy themselves. It's the children who spend their parents' money to increase their status. They are the ones who purchase luxury cars, buy flashy homes in nice areas, and send their children to expensive private schools.
These economic presents that children receive from their wealthy parents or even grandparents is called economic outpatient care. These children clearly exemplify the belief that it is much easier to spend other people's money than the money earned by self.
Unfortunately, many wealthy parents see no harm in economic outpatient care. On the contrary, many of them believe that it can be beneficial and often the correct thing to do. However, in order to ensure that their children are successful later in life, they need to be disciplined. Parents need to instill in them the ability to earn a living and provide for themselves without relying on handouts.
So, it's been made pretty clear that gifting your children money, which obviously feels like a nice and agenda-rich gesture, can often do them more harm than good. However, as a parent, you would like to provide them with something that will make them financially stable and responsible adults.
The bottom line is that the truly wealthy should encourage their children to get rid of the silver spoon and work hard instead.
Clearly, there is no magic formula for accumulating wealth. This brings us to the question of how business owners can become truly wealthy. First up, as a business owner, you must be cognizant of the fact that the majority of business owners actually never see their money accumulate into true wealth.
In order to be a successful business owner, you have to have a real motivation to succeed. You need to want to be self-employed. Successful business owners need to love what they do and take pride in going at it alone. If you're simply handed a business on a silver platter, you are unlikely to have the same drive and desire. It's likely the business will not continue to succeed in the same way. Simply put, the majority of millionaires are actually modest, don't spend their money on things they don't need, and adopt a common sense strategy to wealth building. That's how they became rich in the first place.
To summarize the key takeaways from this book, first, do not be under the false impression that all millionaires drive flashy cars, wear expensive watches, and spend excessive amount of money on consumption. Second, on the contrary, most millionaires tend to live modestly, even frugally, and are highly disciplined about their consumption. Third, the first step towards accumulating true wealth is planning how to spend your money. Fourth, the key to creating great wealth is budgeting and investing wisely. Millionaires learn how to be efficient and responsible with money. Fifth, as a wealthy parent, it is important that you take the time to consider how you raise your children. You want to encourage them to be responsible with money. Sixth, consider whether you are truly benefiting your children when you give them money, and question if it is actually having a negative impact on their future capabilities. Last, there is always going to be a difference between those who work hard for their wealth and those who are born with it.
It would seem that anyone who can save and invest judiciously in a disciplined manner can become wealthy. However, it is not as simple as that. Before starting the investment journey, individuals need to first determine their risk profile and return requirements based on each individual goal. Then, basis these requirements, they need to create an asset allocation strategy that helps them build a well-diversified portfolio. This can be achieved by investing through mutual funds. Mutual funds can help you create intelligent portfolios that are spread across multiple asset classes and along the risk-return spectrum. For example, Investors with a low risk tolerance can build a portfolio with a high proportion of debt mutual funds for portfolio protection and a small proportion of equity mutual funds to potentially generate higher long-term returns. By investing through mutual funds, investors can build diversified portfolios that can help them both preserve and grow their wealth. To listen to more such interesting book summaries, don't forget to tune into the next episode of our Money Konnect podcast, where we will be helping you understand how your behavior can determine your investment returns. Further, these podcasts are also available on the Edelweiss Mutual Fund website, Spotify, Apple, JioSaavn, and Google Podcasts for you to listen, learn, and enjoy as per your convenience. For further information on one-time KYC process, list of SEBI-registered mutual funds and redressal of complaints, visit our website, an investor education and awareness initiative of Edelweiss Mutual Fund.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risk. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.